Welcome back, everybody, to the Mullins Studios podcast. It's me along with my brother BlackCross.
Hey guys.
And, episode 6. And, I guess I'll just stick my eye. Don't like that. But, first off, the most important question of the day, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, I guess. I'm right now working on a video project. It's gonna be a long process, but I'm hoping to get it done. Depending on how long it takes, I might get it done and have it released by the end of May, at least.
Yeah, wish you luck. I know you've been wanting to work on this video for the longest time.
At this point, it'll be 5 months.
Has it been 5 months, really?
It's been 5 months since I started working on it.
Oh.
But it's more or less in small chunks, not in like one big stretch.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But before I get to my list that I have here, I want to first talk about an anime that I just literally started watching. I got done watching the 3rd episode before we started this recording session. I know when I talk about anime, I usually talk about Hyperdimension Tuna. That's like my favorite. But I like other animes as well. However, when it comes to trying to watch more newer animes, it's really hard for me to get into. It's like, not saying animes nowadays aren't bad. No, they're good, really good. It's just, I'm looking for that anime that spikes me up. I couldn't really get into Attack on Titan, Overlord. I watched the first episode. It seems interesting, but I just haven't really got intrigued to watch the rest of the series. One Punch Man. I know you're gonna hate me for this. I like the series. I'm just not mega fan. I just haven't gotten around to finishing.
I understand.
I just haven't gotten around to watching the last 6 episodes. But I do like, Satomas saying, just tell the story in 18 words or less, or I'm punching. Like that. That's good. I like that. But I haven't gotten around to watching the rest of the series. And it's just really hard for me to try to get into trying to find an anime that's good for me that isn't just like everything else, or find something that's unique.
Right.
But about a few weeks ago, I was watching this one video talk about the top 5 best animated shows on Netflix. Obviously, BoJack Horseman's on there, but there was this one anime that's a Netflix exclusive called Little Witch Academia. I want to keep saying Little Witch Academy, but it's Academia.
Yeah, it's sort of like My Hero Academia.
I swear, it just messes me up, but it get to cute. It's like, maybe I'll give it a watch. And since I went through most of the movies that I've watched, minus 2 movies, I decided to go and watch Little Witch Academia. And I've watched the first 3 episodes, so I haven't caught up with, they're on 2 seasons, even though technically in Japan it's just 1, but they kind of split into 13 episodes per season.
Oh, okay.
But I have to say, I'm really loving Little Witch Academia. It's not to give too much away, but it's about this girl named Ako. By the way, I apologize if I mispronounce names. I'm not good with Japanese pronunciations. And she wants to become a witch. She's a normal human, not from a witch family. And when she was young, she saw this one witch perform a show, and she was so inspired by it that she wants to become a witch. And she meets these 2 friends, and so far it's really good. Like Ako herself, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times in some past videos, but I love characters that are just full of energy, and even when there's bad stuff going on, they could get past that and still see beauty in life, and looking forward to the opportunity. And she's just full of energy, and I love that. All the other characters are great, even though Diana is one of those snotty people who think they're better than anywhere else, and it's like, you little, I swear. But she's, as last episode I watched, she's, gaining a tad bit more respect to Ako, and the animation, my gosh, is beautiful. It's so full of life, and the 3rd episode, which is about a broom racing competition, it's so much high speed action, and the animation is just so beautiful, wonderful, and each character has their own distinct look that separates them. And I just really love it. It's an anime that, for a long while, got me extremely hooked, like I have with Tuna. And it's just, I'm really loving it so far. I don't know if you heard much about it or...
I hadn't really heard anything about it, but it seems like the trend so far of new animes you've gotten into involve little girls. There seems to be a catch with this. Magical little girls. Should I be more specific?
Well, actually, I don't know if you would consider Little Witch Academy a magical girl anime or not.
Hey, they have the ability to cast magic. I didn't say they have to. They have the ability to.
Yeah, there's...
Whether they use it or not is up to them, but
Yeah.
that's beside the point. The point
Yeah,
is
that's not a...
they're the catch.
I don't know why. It's not a bad thing, is it? Or
No, I'm just saying there's a catch to this.
I guess I don't know why, but I guess what appeals to me with Neptune is that, like, of course, they're all based on, like, video game consoles, characters, companies and stuff.
Right.
And so you can see, like, little personalities and, like, when Blonde gets tipped up because someone makes fun of, Blonde, not being as strong and stuff compared to others. She gets so angry, which I guess is kind of like the little Nintendo fanboy side of me. Whenever someone mocks, Star Fox Zero, saying it's the worst game. Even though I agree, it's like, there's that to it, I guess. But I guess one thing, and this might sound kind of odd, I'm not sure how to really explain, but we don't really see a whole lot of, like, huge female cast members that, have their own strong personalities.
No, I agree with you on that one, and it's a
And
good thing to have that.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those people like, girls need to be strong and, mighty and stuff. And, yuck, I understand, trying to broaden up and, make female characters more recognizable, but you don't just have to make them strong, independent. You can make them funny, you can make them curious and stuff. There's so many personalities you could put in characters instead of trying to make a PR stunt, And, that's what I like about Neptuna and Little Witch Academy is that they treat Neptuna, I'm not gonna lie, the fan service gets really bad, but, they at least try, but you can see the personalities and own distinct features that make them stand out and make them characters and not just fan service stuff. I mean, granted, I have been thinking about making Neptuna fan series a bit, which I'm probably might. I go back and forth in between it.
Right.
But it's just, I guess I just like shows that, like, regardless of sex, make them great characters, really fun and stuff. And, they're just really fun characters. If you haven't seen Little Witch Academy, it's on Netflix, obviously, and it's really good. I really enjoy it. But,
The weird thing about my taste in anime is that even though they have a dark overtone to them, they have small bits of humor here and there in some regards. For example, my personal favorites are, of course, either Fullmetal Alchemist, Bleach, Death Note, Trigun, Rurouni Kenshin, Cowboy Bebop recently is one of them, and then of course One Punch Man is another favorite of mine, even though One Punch Man isn't as dark, considering the fact that usually every once in a while the city gets blown to bits. That's about dark as it's going to be.
And yet, I don't think he has to pay any damages.
But it's one of those things where it's like, every once in a while, if even in a darker overtone, it does have time to have a little bit of humor. Even if it's dark humor, it's humor regardless. For example, like you said, Overlord. I've gotten into the 3rd episode, and I'm actually interested in it. You've got the fine details of the characters themselves. In fact, probably the most detailed characters I've seen, and the most likable characters, even though technically they are in quote-unquote villainy. But it is probably the most detailed stuff. But the main character... when Brandon was telling us of how, like, even though he's just a skeleton face, his emotions speaks for themselves. And it's just...
yeah, I will admit.
Just getting into the 3rd episode only, I'm looking forward to see what else will come about. And it's nice to have the crossover between his actual voice versus the character voice that he has.
I do like that,
Because I was thinking to myself, it's like, in all honesty, if they keep the same voice, that would get very annoying But considering the fact that this is an alternate world that they get transported into...
Yeah, it's like his mind is his,
regular voice.
And then the voice is in the game. So I like that little feature.
I do like that. It's one of those things that's like, okay, I can get behind this ideal. This is good. But everything else about it... Let's put it this way. You have to be in that realm of like, okay, this is based on modern time MMO gameplay style with technical stuff, but it's been transported into a medieval setup with fantasy stuff, and it's like, come again?
Yeah. I guess my taste in anime is weird. I've watched so many
Can't be as weird as mine. Dark with humor.
Yeah, but it's like I try several different animes. I try watching, that speaks to me, I guess, and I of course love Fullmetal Alchemist. It's dark as heck and everything, but still it's really fun. Please don't ask which series I prefer, the 2003 or Brotherhood series. It's really hard to tell. In fact, him and Brandon are at a full-out war.
Not so much a war, but constant yelling matches.
A full-out war?
No,
regarding which series is the best.
You want to talk about war. When we were talking about the animation art style, I told Brandon that Fullmetal Alchemist had way better art style than what the actual Brotherhood did. The Brotherhood art style was based more about the manga itself, which is what it's supposed to be.
Even though they get the same to me.
There is a lot of difference. You just have to look at it. You have to... Let's put it this way. If you had to take the same images of like one particular episode, because the first half of both of them actually are more or less the same. But if you take one scene from Fullmetal Alchemist and then another scene from Brotherhood, you can tell that there is quite a bit of difference in terms of the quality of art style that was put into it. And keep in mind, the first Fullmetal Alchemist, it was based on the manga until halfway, and then because the manga illustrator himself took a hiatus, they had to take a different detour for the story itself.
Kind of like with Bleach when they did that whole Bound series, right?
Yeah, and a whole bunch of other filler stuff. The Sambato filler was really good. I liked that one personally myself.
Is the manga even going still?
As far as I know, it's still going, but the anime has ended at episode 366, which I'm very glad is finally ended. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with the anime if it keeps going.
Yeah, last episode I watched was... This is back when me, you, and Mom used to watch it every night or something.
Yeah.
Last episode I watched was... I forgot. I think it was the arc where it was taking place in...
the actual hometown that Ichigo lives in before the Arrancar...
No, and it was where the society was looking for a replacement member for Isaac.
Oh, really? It was actually before all that? Wow.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
I figured we got done watching that.
Well, at least that's as far as my memory can get back. I know it's before Kenbachi's new voice actor.
Okay, yeah.
So it was before that. I can't remember exactly. Although, actually, to be fair, I guess that's one other thing. Is why I like, looking for different animes. Is that when you... I know some people are going to kill me, but when you see, like, popular animes, comparing them, like, Bleach, One Piece and stuff, you'll notice some cliches and stuff that, kind of gets old. So I guess it's like, I don't know, I want to find an anime that doesn't include that necessarily, I guess.
I don't think you can do that because as we get further along the way, it gets harder and harder. But it's more about how they change it about. Like, everything does kind of go in the same direction, but it's a matter of how they take about it. For example, you've got the fact that Overlord is based on this guy who basically plays as this character, and essentially it is an MMORPG style anime, but it's taken in a way different direction than what it starts out.
Heck, the fact that, the main character is completely fine, being stuck because he doesn't, his real life,
sucks.
Yeah, he doesn't see much of his family or friends and stuff. Although, I'm curious as to how it's gonna finish off, like if he still gonna remain in that world, or he comes back to reality, and if we find out that he was in a coma, or something.
That would be an interesting story. In fact, my friend TJ was telling me that fan theories behind One Punch Man is the fact that from where he's trained so hard, he's kind of put himself into a coma, and we're just seeing like a coma-like haze dream.
Like after he got punched by that giant lobster man in the first episode?
No, it's just from where he's been training so hard, he put himself into a coma just from training so hard. Because you gotta remember, he does like 100 push-up, 100 setups, 200-kilometer-mile run, doesn't turn on the air conditioning whatsoever.
I will admit, I liked how he built up. It was super secret. It's just like a standard exercise.
It is a little bit sugarless exercise, but it's still just basic exercise.
How much you want to bet that someone out there is actually doing that?
Someone did.
Wait, what?
He didn't do it for a whole 2 years, but he did do it for like a 6-month span just to see what it would do. And he said that the results are fairly in, but they wouldn't make you uber strong.
It would just make you more healthy, more physical and stuff.
He said if nothing else, it would put you in better condition than what most people would be in nowadays.
Well, there's one problem that we can't do push-ups.
I know I can't do sit-ups.
Well, actually, to be fair, because over there we have like stairs that go to our bedrooms, and to be fair, doing push-ups on the stairs isn't really that bad.
It's not, so, I mean, it works.
Yeah, I don't do it that much, but then again, I know I'm a little fat, but I'm not needing major physical fitness at the moment.
Right.
But, yeah, it's just, and again, I know it seems kind of odd, with Neptuna and Little Witch Academy, having mostly female cast members, but I
don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because I see them as characters. They're fun and they have interesting designs and everything. And
plus,
of course, the worlds that they are in are creative. Like with Neptune, you could get so much of the video game references, some of the commentary, and Little Witch Academy. It may not be mind blowing stuff, but it's fun little fun within this world of witches. And again, I love Akko's personality and the animation. And that third episode was so much fun. Heck, I'm actually getting a little blood rush thinking like the high speed, animation. And in fact, during the train, when they were... Okay, last part, and then I'll shut up about Little Witch Academy. One of my favorite parts of the episode is her friend Susie trying to help her, train to learn how to fly, because she can't, fly on a broom. And one of them is where she literally shoots her with the broom in a cannon, and she goes skyrocketing. It was great, but... I actually might do a Download Show episode on it. I'm not sure.
Once you get done with the series, that is?
There's only 26 episodes. So actually, that's another reason I can't watch anime that's over 100 plus, because that gets really ridiculous.
That's why I kind of stopped watching, Naruto as well as flipping One Piece, because...
I never could get into Naruto. I really couldn't. I tried watching the first...
I was okay with, the first part of Naruto before the filler part of it. But then once you get into Shippuden and now this new age Boruto, it's are they trying to cop Dragon Ball Z at this point? Because you got Dragon Ball, then you got Dragon Ball Z, then GT, and now Super, and now Naruto is trying to catch up with the pace with Naruto, Shippuden, Boruto, and it's ugh.
Boruto sounds like a... Pardon me for this, but Boruto sounds like a Japanese male stripper name. I'm serious, it does! I'm not trying to be mean.
Right.
I mean, if you like the show, that's great, but yeah, anyway, I guess I'm done with, I just really love the series, but what's your topic, just out of curiosity?
Okay, well, I have two as well as a question, but we'll get to the question more or less. But I do want to go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about this recent trailer that was released as of last week. Kingdom Hearts 3. Now...
It's not Robin Hood.
No,
Dang it.
Actually didn't do anything major, because it was only a 50-second clip. But it was more or less okay, allow me to set up the specs. There was a Kingdom Hearts fan event for those who were part of the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross game series, which is the mobile phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing.
So kind of like Pokemon Go was a major event for people who, have that app.
Yeah, but actually, it was an actual live convention that people could actually attend to.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask me where it's at because I couldn't remember. But Tetsuki Nomura was going to be there as a guest to appear there. Now, the only time he's ever been at a fan event or any form of event at all was to showcase anything involving Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kind of like what he did with the Disney 23 Expo last year.
And then, of course, with the orchestra tour, because technically that was Yoko Shimomura, as well as a few other producers' work. But then Tetsuki Nomura shows up there to showcase the new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. But in this case, he was showcasing a small little thing, a small little mini-game that is going to be in both, technically, in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and Kingdom Hearts 3. Which is basically a Game & Watch style mini-game. Yes, and I'll even show an image right here of the mini games itself.
It got me excited.
As far as we know, in terms of what Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to have, there are 4 confirmed different Game & Watches. And in all honesty, it's not too far-fetched for both Disney as well as Square Enix to pull a Game & Watch reference into the frame of Kingdom Hearts, because technically Disney had put their hands into the Game & Watch series.
Yeah, there was, granted, I think there was 2 different ones, I think. But there was a Mickey Mouse Game & Watch where Mickey is... I'm trying to remember the game now. I wish I would have done research, but...
You've got your book, don't you?
Yeah, but it's like upstairs...
Oh.
That echoed. I don't know if the mic got it, but that just echoed, and that scared the heck out of me.
Wow. That's pretty loud then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, it was really popular. Probably one of the best selling Game & Watches at the time, where Mickey is like, he's... Actually, I think I got the handheld. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. And yes, I actually do have the Mickey Mouse Game & Watch here. And in the game, pretty much you go back and forth with Mickey trying to collect these eggs that are dropping from the hens. And, they have the direction pads, like you have this one for further up and down. And it's a fun game, but yeah, it was...
What's the other Mickey Mouse minigame then?
I think there was one other one, but I can't remember. Although this game was re-released after Nintendo ran out the license to push the game because of Mickey Mouse. And I think it was just called Egg. I can't remember, but I know they re-released it twice.
Well, the funny thing is, that's actually one of the mini games, but you're as Sora.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they've got Battle Royale, where you've got both Sora and Mickey. Then you've got Giant's Land, and then you've got the Crane Part 1.
Yeah, which kind of reminds me of the Donkey Kong Game & Watch a little bit.
Yeah.
Or what I think. Although I love the Game & Watches. I'm not going for every single one, but I do love... Then again, it started with Mr. Game & Watch being one of my favorite fighters from Smash Bros. Brawl. And then to discover these handhelds, they're just so cool, and love like the nostalgic style of it. And, I really love it. And to see this incorporated into Kingdom Hearts, it is a bit odd, but I'm glad to see. At first, when he showed it, I thought it was going to be like something that's for app only from the way it's structured. Actually, to be fair, I can totally see Game & Watch being on an iOS device. Nintendo doing like a Game & Watch collection on iOS probably.
Technically, they've got it for the DS, but they can re-release it for the Android, iPhone, whatever.
I can see that happening. I'm not saying they should, but I will actually like to see that happen. But I really do love that idea. I knew they were gonna do mini games for this, and it is gonna be on the actual Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it on both the PS4 and the Xbox One whenever it comes out and everything like that. And it's also going to be available for those who are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross on the mobile phone.
Is it out now, or they gotta wait till...
It's going to be available, I think they said, in September for the mobile app. But then, of course, for the Kingdom Hearts 3 case, whenever it comes out, it'll be in the game. And I say you'll probably discover it as you go through the game and everything like that, because the way they showcased it, you see Sora and Goofy talking to Hayner, Pence, and Oles, and
Twilight Town looks beautiful.
Oh gosh,
it does look
way
beautiful.
better. And upon closer inspection, you know that accessory shop that's in Twilight Town, in that same area, because you recognize that area, don't you?
Yeah,
Train Central.
Yeah, I recognize it.
Well, that accessory shop is now a gummy shop, which means now you can actually buy gummy pieces like you could in Kingdom Hearts 1.
So, like, if you were gonna buy them from Sid, but, although what's the question, is the accessory shop in that corner is gonna be, like, combined with the shop across? Or?
I don't know how they're doing it, but the fact that it's a gummy ship thing, that makes me happy, because that means the customizations for the gummy ship is actually better this time again. Because they did say that the gummy ship missions and everything has evolved, and I'm kind of curious as to how it's evolved. But the fact that technically the gummy ship pieces themselves are purchasable, that's a good thing. That means that you're not having to win missions and everything like that just to get the pieces. Instead, you're actually purchasing stuff, and it's like, yes, this is a good sign. This is a good sign.
But back to the whole original Kingdom Game & Watch gallery.
I keep forgetting what it's called, but it's Kingdom something or other. But it just, even though it's nothing major,
it brought a smile to my face. Now if they could confirm Robin Hood and Oswald for the game, I would be happy.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't want any new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers. And allow me to explain what I mean whenever I say I don't want to see any new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. I don't want to see any new one until the official release date. I think compared to what we've been getting so far, we've been exposed to enough to get an ideal justification of gameplay and what's it going to be and everything like that. Now, if you wanted to show off the gummy ship mission before the official release date trailer, that's fine, show me the gummy ship mission, because that's like my favorite thing other than the combat itself within Kingdom Hearts. And Kingdom Hearts 1 gummy ship mission, I love the customization. Kingdom Hearts 2 customization case is very limited, and I didn't like that. However, I did like the gummy ship missions within Kingdom Hearts 2's case. And so to know that the gummy ships have evolved, I'm curious to see how it's evolved, because they have yet to showcase it yet. So I'm hoping that they'll showcase that the next trailer, and depending on the next trailer, depending on when it gets revealed to us, it had better be the release date, because...
Didn't they say they were going to reveal it in E3 this year?
It's been mixed, because Square is not exposing anything. They're trying to keep everything on the down low, and they're trying to keep things monetized. But let's put it this way. You've got Nomura being a big-ass troll on Twitter.
I hate that.
And you've got the fact that you've got these different corporations like Target, who is doing like date changes to get people interested in pre-orders, and Square Enix is getting pissed off at both sides. It's like, stop teasing the audience. We don't need this. Well, until we come out with a release date.
Well, heck, I don't even really bother looking at store releases. Whenever my Nintendo News says something about a website saying this and this, it's like, I'm not believing it until they actually said it themselves.
I know, but it gets annoying too, because it's like, until we get official from the company itself, these other people who do these stupid changes is like, oh, this is so irritating.
But again, just ignore the stores, ignore them, because I believe until it comes out of Square Enix's stupid little mouth that is zip-tied, duct tape, super glued over, that they're waiting for the perfect moment when the planets are aligned to finally say Kingdom Hearts please coming out this year, whatever, which by the way, it never got delayed, they're just patient, but regardless, just until then, don't believe any other resources.
I know.
Even if they say they are super, super close, they are like the first cousin of Nomura's family line that said they got him from his mouth when he was trolling on Twitter. Just no! No! No more!
But yeah, that's basically what we wanted to talk about, with just that one little small saying that got interesting.
And then it got transferred into an angry rant about, Nomura being a meanie.
Okay, but anyway.
Let's switch the topic, and, We'll focus more on rage later, but crap, I don't know what top of the rage is, because a lot of them can also evoke anger. But
Yeah, really?
okay, not really. Although I do want to go ahead and talk about this one. We mentioned this last podcast episode about the pop figures.
Did we?
I think. Was it the last episode? I can't remember. But I want to talk a little bit about the pop figures as, well, you know how popular they are.
Right.
But, and I got a few. I got like Ren and Stimpy, Hoggle, Robin Hood. Though I will admit, sometimes they produce too many of them that gets overwhelming. Like, you have so many different variations. In fact, I do remember it when we would talk about a trip to Knoxville, and the store had like some of them being expensive.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
And I'm just wondering, it's like, how much more popular can the pop figures go? Because not every brand lasts forever and stuff. And
no, but I mean, the way I see it is that pop figure is not an overblown popularity type thing. It's more or less, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like the actually it could be like the TY beanies, because technically they are still making the TY Beanie Babies technically. But it's not as big as that was. You remember how it started off as being big and major and everything like that. Well, it does have its moments of where it gets its big burst, but then it settles down and it continues on like a bit of an up and down stroke. It doesn't go overly populated unless there's like small fan bases. You know, you got the Kingdom Hearts, you got the Nickelodeon, you've got the Disney and stuff like that. And that's what Funko Pop is looking for, are small audiences. They're not looking for like the whole collector of Funko Pop. They're looking for the smaller audiences of these individual franchises. That's why they're reaching out to some of the more obscure titles. For example, I was surprised to see Hong Kong Phooey as a potential pop figure. I mean, I knew about Ren and Stimpy and the Rugrats and stuff like that, but to see Hong Kong Phooey, I was really shocked.
I was surprised that there was a Cat in a Hat pop figure.
That was probably more or less of a matter of time to see that happening.
But it's like, it seems like they produce so many, and you know, I kind of feel kind of bad for like people who are collecting those Funko Pop figures, you know.
The large collectors, you mean?
Yeah, since they produce them so quickly, and sometimes you have some that are exclusive. Like when we were there, I saw they had Ren and Stimpy in the Dalmatians from the Fire Dogs cartoon. Yeah, they're cool, but it was $50. It's like, and some of them was just so rare. Some of them are limited qualities, and you have so many different variations. Because I was surprised at how there was like different variations. Like, even though it has the same character, same colors, they have them like in a different position. It's like, okay, huh? And I have to admit,
I do agree on that part. It does get irritating just to see the different versions.
Yeah, it's like, for some people, when they actually want one and they stop producing it, it's like, why stop? You could have had, I guess, the thing that worries me about with the pop figures is that if they're oversaturating the market with so many characters, so many different variations, that for the consumer, they'll get overwhelmed to like which one they'll buy and just not buy it all, and then they'll have so much in stock.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, like, how long can the pop figures can really go until it's like, you know, everyone's burnt out and there's too many to go around, too many unsold. It's like, what's going to happen with them?
Well, I think, like I said before, I don't think it's going to end up being an explosive end, considering the fact that I see pop figures being just as popular as the TY beanies are. Because you know how long they've lasted.
They lasted forever.
When did they first spawn? Like in 2004, 2005, something like that?
I think earlier than that, I believe.
So probably about what, 2000, or not even that, 1999 probably?
I remember them when I was young, but they may have lasted longer, I can't say.
I don't remember when they first spawned it. I do remember them when I was younger, so they may be already within the 20-year anniversary or past that? I don't know. Someone in the comments, I'm sure someone's gonna put in the date and everything like that. But the thing is that I see the pop figures lasting just as long as that, especially if they're able to get different franchises. Now, they do have to be careful as to what franchises they're going to pick out. You know, there is the popularity ones, and then there's the obscure ones. But then you get, like, maybe someone within the realms of, like, the non-popularized, the ones that just had come out and stuff like that. You know.
Well, I pick because I kind of have this weird saying that they're trying to make the goal to mass produce every single franchise ever. Like, anything that's like, I'm surprised they don't have an Oswald pop figure.
That is weird, though. They don't.
Or, like, if they produce, like, a Felix the cat pop figure, I will buy that shit day one. I would.
I'll be sure to keep an eye on it for you then.
But, I apologize for swearing. I'm just saying, you know, Felix the cat, he's great and all, but, like, I just have to wonder, them trying to do this, like, how many people's gonna buy it? Like, sure, like, Felix the cat is sort of well known, but not everyone remembers him, and he hasn't really made a impact in today's culture that people probably forgot about Felix. Not saying everyone has, but you know, some people may not remember him as close to others, and
right.
You know, it's just like they have to be careful which franchises. I mean, if they all of a sudden try to think an obscure franchise here, I'm just gonna mention this since I remember this from a previous podcast, but if they would have made a pop figure of Kappa Mikey and Gonad and Mitsuki from Kappa Mikey,
which you would be happy.
I would, but then it's like, wait, then, you know, how many people's gonna buy it? I can't see it, you know, passing over 100,000 or even 500,000 sold of it, because not a whole lot of people may know that franchise. You might get a handful, but then you gotta think, like, will it appeal to the massive customers that they have?
Right. I see where you're getting on that part, but
and I guess I just get worried for them. I mean, I don't really collect pop figures. Not saying they're not all bad, but like some of them, like especially if they get like the generic humans from like, you know, Walking Dead, Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, those I don't care much.
They are so stale, and you can easily get confused with the like, oh, that's from Grey's Anatomy. No, that's from crap, I forgot a show. Okay, I'm just gonna use. It's like, oh, that's from Scrubs. No, that's from
Dexter.
What?
There is a show technically called Dexter.
No.
I don't watch it, but yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm with you. Consumers like, wait, how are they different? They look the same.
Right.
So, but I mean, for like some of the different cartoon ones, you know, when I saw, you know, the pop figure for like, you know, Daggett and Norbert from Angry Beavers, they are good. I guess I like it when they, you know, make like, I guess different animal type pop figures, you know,
make them more unique.
Yeah, it makes surreal designs. Because yes, face it, if someone has an entire wall of nothing but like human characters from like Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, they were like, that's really generic looking. But if they're like covered with like, you know, like characters from Hanna-Barbera, Warner Brothers and stuff, it's like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I can recognize it.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know. It's like with pop figures, I'm not against them. I'm glad they're doing well, extremely well now, but. You know, I get nervous of what goes on in the future, though I'm still waiting on that Thomas the Tank Engine pop figure. I know it's coming, and if it does, I'll probably pick it up.
I mean, I don't see it being far-fetched, because they've done Cars.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised they did a Thomas the Tank Engine pop figures. If nothing else, just the main set, rather.
Yeah, although I get the feeling that with the Big World, Big Adventures, they'll just focus on the main 7 for that. So it's
good point.
And now I'm gonna imagine like someone's like, oh hey, I remember watching Thomas growing up. I see Thomas, Gordon, James, Percy. Who the heck is Rebecca and Nia? Even though to be fair, I wouldn't mind because I like Rebecca's design. You know, the yellow.
Let's just hope they never delve into Pokemon, because if they start going,
oh
to the
gosh,
Pokemon,
dang it, no!
You know how many Pokemons there are, and
there's over 1,000 at this point.
Yeah, so with pop figures, oh dear God.
I mean, they will start, you know, like maybe Pikachu, Meowth. Of course, you gotta have.
No, we'll have like 5 different Pikachus. You got Surfer Pikachu, Pikachu Libre, Detective Pikachu, stuff like that.
Actually, to be fair, with the Detective Pikachu movie coming out, I wouldn't be surprised them doing a Detective Pikachu pop figure.
That makes more sense.
I can see that. Detective Pikachu's coming out soon. They're filming right now, which is surprising. It's like, okay, I don't know. Actually, that's a question, guys. Is Detective Pikachu that popular?
It just recently came out, so I don't know.
Yeah, but like they got the filming a movie. It's like, is it that popular already or what?
Here's what's even more confusing. I remember whenever they first showcased Detective Pikachu being in development in terms of game, there were people who was trying to fundraise wanting Danny DeVito to be the voice actor for Pikachu himself.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not a bad choice, but it's like,
why Danny DeVito? Well, what was the big thing of saying, okay, we need to try to get as much money raised to where we can have Danny DeVito as Detective Pikachu, because I want the one thing in my life to hear Danny DeVito say the phrase Pikachu in a Pikachu cry. It's like, Pikachu! Pikachu!
Well, it's at least better than those M&M's commercials he did for the Super Bowl, remember?
I only seen the one.
And I do not want to see it again. But still, I don't know how Detective Pikachu got so... I don't even remember people being hyped about it. Like, I
thought it was cute. The fact that
it's cute, and I played a demo on Tommy's 3DS when we went down to Georgia, and it seemed interesting. But it's like, why does it need a film version? It seems kind of odd. Though I guess it will be nice to see, Pokemon into like a CG and film, and Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu.
It's nice to see a different type of genre of Pokemon without seeing the generic characters that we're used to seeing
I get the
for the past 20 years.
Although we might see an Ash Ketchum cameo. Like maybe a portrait cameo, probably. I'm just saying,
Or see Pikachu talking to Pikachu. Wait.
Pikachu talking to Pikachu! That sounds more like an interview session, like those serious Dateline 2020 interviews. Pikachu, I'm Pikachu. Pikachu, what's your thoughts on Pikachu? Arbok.
Anyway.
Yeah, but yes, go ahead. What's your next topic?
Okay, well, you said you got a question, right?
Oh, well, yeah, actually it was by Mekachu again.
Well, okay, because I figured considering how much time we've got, we probably got enough time to do the two questions that you and I've got. So
okay, well, I'll let you do your question next.
Okay, this one is from a recent subscriber, and he's been watching my Final Fantasy Twitch playthroughs.
Oh, okay.
Where he's been watching them on YouTube, but he's been watching them. But he asked me this question on Twitter, and if I mispronounce your name, do forgive me. But I want to say it's Derek McCann? Is that how you pronounce it? Derek McCann?
I think it's Derek McKean.
Derek McKean. Okay, well, until further notice, it's Derek McKean. But his question is, what is one of your favorite dishes Del Mar has cooked for you, and which type of food do you like most that you eat often out of convenience? Cook or eat out.
Wait, the heck?
Yeah, I guess because of the fact that we've moved into our apartment, one of us probably cooked more.
Well,
and lately you actually have cooked more, technically, in terms
of... it's true, I do cook a bit more, but I don't say my cooking's like the most groundbreaking, but...
No, but you do at least a little bit more cooking than I do, mostly because of the fact that, well, I do most of my gaming upstairs, you're down here doing gaming and recording and stuff, and then you're like, I'm in the mood to fix something. Well, and then a few minutes later, you'll text me saying, food's done. What?
Well, I mean, it's more convenient, because if I have my computer... This is something that I kind of did, decide to do before we moved. It's like, when we move out, I want to get my computer away from my bed. Not saying I didn't like, the convenience, like, after going on a computer, watching YouTube, I could just fall in my bed, but it's like, I want to... whenever I want to focus on a video project really badly, I want to focus on it, But when you're exhausted and that bed is next to you and it's tempting, and before anyone asks, I know I gotta get my health, I want to make sure I get good sleep. That way I'm wide awake in the morning stuff, or wide awake at night in this case. However, sometimes, even on weekends, it can be hard, when I want to focus, but I actually sleep the entire time. It's like I want stuff done instead of my weekend to go to waste of sleep. And even though I probably may need it or not, even though sometimes even if I sleep for like a good 5-6 hours, for some reason my eyes hurt and I get like a small migraine, and I'm not sure why.
I don't know either. But back to the question at hand.
Yeah, yes,
Sorry about
yes.
that. So me and Delmar, since we've moved, we've actually fixed quite a few dishes. But if I had to pick the one dish that Delmar specifically makes, now it would have to be a tie between two different ones. And they're both relatively simple, mind you. They're both relatively simple. One of them is the grilled chicken salad, where he grills the chicken and we put it in the salad.
Into small bits.
Yeah, I like that one because you're eating the salad, but at the same time you have the bits of chicken in it, and it's very nice. And the fact that he's willing to go so far as to grill each individual small little pieces of chicken.
Well, what I do is I just take 1 pound boneless chicken breast, cut into small pieces, and then grill each piece. I know some people say, why not just cook the whole chicken? Sometimes I just want it. It's just my method of cooking. Everyone has their own different.
It works though.
Yeah, and that way you're guaranteed each piece is fully cooked, and not like having it cooked and then you may missing a few in the middle that's not fully cooked, and you chop it. It's like that way each piece is fully cooked regardless.
Right, but it would be that or the mushroom Swiss burgers,
which I have mastered. I've done extremely well. Not trying to brag.
Okay, so here's the saying. We had started cooking mushroom and been putting in stuff. The first time was when me and Delmar started doing spaghetti, but we've been doing with cut mushrooms and then meatballs. And Daniel has perfected cooking mushrooms.
That's what I was gonna say. I've done not trying to brag, but I've done a good job of cooking mushrooms. In fact, even Brandon, who's not trying to be mean, but who's usually kind of picky with food, like he's a food critic.
He's a food connoisseur, rather.
I'm gonna say food critic because I can't pronounce that word. It's too fancy. But he's a food critic. But when he got into mushrooms, he said, "Perfect." It's like, holy crap! I did it. Although, to be fair, one of these days, I'm going to try my best to find out how... Because one of my favorite foods is Hardee's mushrooms and Swiss sandwich. And they have this, like, mushroom sauce in it that's so good. It's like, what is that? I want to figure it out so that way I figure it out. I don't have to go over there and pay $5 for a burger. You know? Because even though I love the food, it can be a bit pricey. But
yeah, it would be the mushroom Swiss burger sandwich. I would say the spaghetti and mushroom ones, but technically me and Daniel both cook that together because it takes a lot of work.
Even though I cook mostly the mushrooms.
Mostly on my end is mostly simple stuff. If you consider adding pepper, salt, garlic powder, and the tomato sauce, and fixing up the noodles and meatballs. But considering what Daniel does, the mushrooms, that's whatever his thing is. But
I love me and my mushrooms.
Again, basically the grilled chicken salad or the mushroom Swiss burger that Delmar has cooked. Now, in terms of like out of convenience, there are two particular meals. One for here, which would be the spaghetti mushroom dish.
Somebody touched my spaghetti! I'm sorry, I have to do that. Come on!
That is funny. But it's either that, or whenever we're eating out, lately it's been a tie between two particular restaurants. And I have been going to them a number of times. One of them is Hibachi, which is conveniently about a mile away from where we live here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I actually like going there. What's funny is that Brandon, before we moved, Brandon has been trying to convince me and Delmar to eat sushi.
I ain't touching it. No offense. I don't trust myself with it.
I've had sushi once, but it kind of messed with my stomach. And Brandon told me that he wanted me to at least get into eating sushi again. And I told Brandon this. And I'm glad I did tell him this. I said, okay, tell you what, Brandon. After we move, I will try eating sushi and try to get into it. And thank goodness I did, because their sushi bar up there is actually really good. I was actually surprised. Personally, my favorite one would have to be either the fried sushi or the sweet sushi, because both of them are actually relatively good. Their other dishes are really good too, but I have to say, I never thought to myself that I would eat sushi as much as I have from up there, which is really good. And then, of course, there's this other restaurant, again, relatively close by to where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, too, because considering the fact that we are literally in the center of our universe, not the universe, but our universe, our universe, we are literally in the center of our universe. Everybody lives equal parts from where we live. We are in the center.
We are the heart of our little town.
We are in the exact center of the universe. Give or take 50 feet. But anyway.
Thank you. Thank you, nefarious.
Anyway, there's another restaurant up the road ahead called the Flying Pig. And we've been going up there quite a bit frequently. In fact, we're supposed to be going up there for lunch sometime today.
Yeah, that's the ideal.
But they have this dish that I always order. I don't care how redundant it gets. I don't care how old it gets. I love the dish so much. And it is basically pork ribs. They've got the half rack and then they've got the full rack. And it is so good.
Actually, speaking of, a few days ago, two of our good buddies decided to be complete meanies to my poor big brother. And I wasn't around because I was busy working, I think, was it two? Yeah, it was 2 trucks that night.
Mm-hmm.
And, when it's that, I usually like to try to focus on work, so I'm not usually on break on time. But apparently at break, Brandon and Spencer, you would think with the smartphones they wouldn't do something to this, but no. They were talking, I don't know how it went, but you were talking about food and you mentioned ribs, and then all of a sudden
they pull up ribs on their smartphones.
Yeah, they pull ribs up their smartphones, showing countless images on Google, and
then they even looked up different recipes for the ribs, and I'm like, that's it, I'm going to the Flying Pig. Unfortunately, it was Sunday, and they're closed on a Sunday, and it's like, dang it!
He was angry. I thought he was going to eat the car when he discovered that. He's like, that's the steering wheel. Stop.
Oh my gosh. So let's go ahead and hear your little conversation.
Okay, I guess this one's again from Mekachu, who's been on the show many times. So hi, Mekachu.
Hello, Mekachu.
We love you. Anyway, this one I try to avoid talking about, as I don't do well with controversy.
Right.
I really don't. And it's really hard because there's 2 sides to every story. And, this is one of the things that I've grew up with. Like, ever since I got into high school, I grew up with this, these people. And it's sad to hear about it. And I know you guys probably heard about it, but it's the Channel Awesome controversy. I'm not going to go into huge details because there's plenty of videos all around that go into detail about the Not So Awesome document, the whole controversy, like, Wario and all, but it's like...
Everybody has talked about it, so...
Yeah, but at the time of recording this, which is the April the 18th, the only members left are Brad Jones and Guru Larry. And there's been so much stuff like, people on the side not really getting, direct info what's going on. Some that has been treated unfairly, some sexual problems, which, by the way, I'm getting sick and tired of people. How hard is it to keep your penis to yourself? Like, how hard is it to do that? Like, to not look at a woman, and it doesn't have the fact that one of my favorite people, Juwario, who passed away several years ago by suicide, has been said to have sexual allegations with someone, and I just don't understand why people do this to themselves. And then the whole, and it's not just with Gerard, but other people and some of the members of society being treated unfairly, not getting along with others. The fact, and I completely forgot about Mike Machado. I forgot about him. Like, last time I heard anything about Mike Machado was during the Too Boldly Free thing, but after that, it's like, I forgot about him. And people don't even know what he even does on the site anymore. Like, no one knows what exactly he does, and it's been so much drama, it's been confusing and just allegory. Heck, recently, apparently, Doug Rocker and Rob are planning on suing on Mike to get the rights back. And this messed me up beyond belief, because apparently Mike Machado owns the character of Nostalgia Critic.
I remember you telling me about that.
Meaning, if Doug leaves or is fired, the show is gone.
Which is weird, considering the fact that technically Doug Walker is the creator of it all.
Yeah, he started YouTube back in 2007 with the 5-second movies and did the Nostalgia Critic. And when back then, YouTube kept deleting his channels and his videos, and he was having trouble trying to make him. And so he decided to leave YouTube and form a site with Mike Machado and everything. And it's disheartening to see this happen.
It is.
But I mean, you gotta remember as well that not everyone's perfect. Even the greatest people ever out there that, you know, we look up to have faults, because we're human. We have, you know, faults. And you know, I knew there was probably like some behind the scenes stuff. Like, I kind of knew when the whole Spoonie leaving Channel Awesome thing happened back when Too Boldly Free, before it uploaded. But to see all this stuff happen is just disheartening. And it's saying that, you know, I could, you know, look past it if, you know, the people at Channel also say, yes, this stuff happened, we apologize, and we're learning from our mistakes. But there's not even like a full apology from them.
No, it's not.
And they released like a statement back April of last week, but it was so vague and confusing that it didn't even feel like an apology. If anything, it was fueling up the flames even more. And
I think what happens, and this is just a theory of mine, mostly because of the fact that there are other YouTube content creators who has also done this as well. This is what happens when you take your solo IP, I'm going to call it an IP because technically that's what you may well call it, an IP, a brand. A brand. Okay, thank you for the word. Brand. This is what happens when you take that small brand and branch out to make it into a full-fledged company. You remember how Normal Boost was before they broke out and then reforged again.
Yeah, I remember.
It was relatively small, and back then, those were some good times. They were. But then they broke off and then functioned their own corporations and then formed again to create this massive corporation. It's not to say that it's bad, but because of the fact that they've made this their job, their career, which there's nothing wrong with that, because that can be a beautiful thing.
But the problem is that you can be there'll be some misguided directions, and with all this stuff going on, it's really hurt them bad. All the producers is left, and heck, people's even laughed about, you know, I think Brad Jones has kind of, you know, quietly resigned from Channel Awesome, leaving Guru Larry the only one, and I think he's only doing it just for laughter's sake. Don't ask me how. But
it's a matter of the fact that this is what happens when you take a small brand and you branch out. And that's why there's some people out there who refuse to branch out and instead stay in that small little box because of the big controversy that happens afterwards. You know, you have to consider the fact that there could be potential lawsuits that you'll have to make with some people. Sometimes you have that family business that you worked so hard at, and you take it out there, and all of a sudden it's been bought by somebody else that you've been partnered up business with, and now you're having to sue over just to get back the rights for it.
And I'm not even sure what's going to happen next. Like, today I just saw the new Nostalgia Critic on FIFA Goes West, and it's like, okay, like, sure, they probably they recorded that weeks ahead, but I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Doug and Walker because I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to sound mean here, but I don't really care what's gonna happen to Mike Machado because I don't know what he actually does for the site. I really don't. He's a CEO, yeah, but what does he do? Does he, think of new ways to? Well, heck, the site's been the same as it has been. There hasn't been no major changes.
Yeah, I think
not even live streams. They don't even sure they do charity, but not even getting people who do live streams for a living come in to join in. And I don't really know what he does. I'm just mainly worried to see what's gonna happen to Doug, Rob, Malcolm, Tamwa, and all the other people. And it's what's gonna happen? Will they get the characters' rights? Will they continue? Will they have to form a brand new show and start all over? We don't know what's gonna happen. And I just I feel really bad because I yuked it up to it. Heck, I had a silly idea of possibly being part of Channel Awesome back in the day, but I just hate to see this happen to anyone. And I still have the fond memories of Channel Awesome. I really do. I know some people, when they heard about the whole Drew Wario controversy, a lot of people were just angry. They wanted his videos, which his channel's still up. You can still watch You Can Play This, but people wanted him taken down. It's I don't know. I guess it's just me because I still have the fond memories. And the thing is, I didn't know Drew Wario. You didn't know. A lot of people who watch his content probably didn't know him in person. And who knows, maybe that whole sexual allegation thing, it probably hurted him so much that he regretted it until his unfortunate suicidal. And, I can't really judge, if that changed him or if he, I don't know. But I try not to let that damage his image because I still like his You Can Play This. Heck, he's the reason why I bought a Famicom. He really was.
Yeah.
And I love his personality and stuff. And, it just gets really hard. It really does. And the thing that pisses me off is seeing so many people with sexual allegations like Kevin Spacey, John Kay, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, accusing of sexual molestation, which he was fucked up already.
Right.
But, why can't people just be good? Just not do bad stuff. Try to communicate with, other people who are part of your company. Communicate and try to be a good person and not do this crazy stuff. And that's the thing that feels me most. If someone we do get signed up with a big company making videos, I'm afraid of what will happen because all this mad stuff.
Right. There is one thing I do want to say, and to Doug Walker, Rob Walker, to anybody who is left on Channel Awesome, and to those who have broken off, I want to give you a few words to kind of give you a form of encouragement in some form of way. And if you do listen to this podcast, if you do, let us know in the comments. Let us know, because I would like to know that. But just to hear me say this, you guys who make the videos yourselves, you guys who are passionate enough, that's the thing, is that you're passionate enough to do the thing that you're doing now. You're very passionate, and even though using that word continuously, it gets redundant, it is a true word to be used, is that you're passionate enough to continue it. So even though you've broken off to a major stream corporation, you form yourself onto your own. That's where you started off. So therefore, that's basically where your beginnings is, and that's where your continuation should be at. Because
even if you had no major part in Channel Awesome, it's still part of your part of your history that you started out. Sure, the later years may not be as big when you first started, but it's a part. But it's helped you form. Heck, I knew when I heard Linkara was leaving Channel Awesome, I wasn't worried because I know he made a good name for himself. Heck, when Angry Joe announced he was leaving Channel Awesome,
he had a good name.
Yeah, well, heck, I completely forgot. Not trying to be mean, I forgot that he was part of Channel Awesome because he stood out so well.
Oh yeah.
And, he didn't need Channel Awesome anymore. He made a name for himself and he doesn't have to worry. But for those who were majorly affected by Channel Awesome, not in the, the good way, but were hurt who were like physically or mentally hurt and was, heartbroken by this, that we are sorry that happened, that your relationship with Channel Awesome was really rough and possibly scary.
But don't let that stop you from doing what you do. Take it from somebody who makes no revenue at all whatsoever. We're not making any revenue at all.
And to be fair, I hope to stay that way.
But to do what you do and to do what you love, continue pushing through it. Even if you need a small hiatus for about a month or two, take that moment to think about yourself and to see where you want to take yourself at. And then push yourself to make it that far, Because, if you love it that much, this little thing should not stop you whatsoever. You should push onward to continue doing what you love the most. And that's coming from people who take it from you guys. We learned it from you guys.
You guys have really inspired us to create and innovate and even help, whenever days in high school or work that has gone bad, I got majorly depressed, watching, Atop the Fourth Wall or Angry Joe or any others, it brightens me up because you're giving us, laughs and fond memories of remembering about stuff that we loved from childhood, or even franchises and games we wouldn't even know about until you guys talked about it. And you're introducing us to many things that has become part of our lives as much as it's been a part of yours. Whether it's been a really bad game or something that you really love, you're sharing that love with the world. And I just wish all of y'all the best of luck.
We really hope that you make it good wherever you're at, and whatever you're doing, keep on at it.
Well, that got depressing very quickly. But yeah, I was kind of nervous to talk about this one, as I don't really do well with controversies. But Channel Awesome has been a big part of my life, and
it's been a big part of everybody practically.
Yeah, and it's a shame that this whole thing has happened. Even though, again, completely forgot Mike Bashal existed. I forgot he was still part. But I just hope everything does well. So anyway, that kind of wraps up for this little podcast here. If you want to send any more questions or topic ideas, please either comment in the video, or better yet, send it to danielmullinsflea@gmail.com. That's my personal email, so send in your questions and stuff. And thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next podcast video. And I'm gonna burp. Oh.
That wasn't a burp, that sounded like heartburn.
More of a chest burn than anything, but...
Either way, we'll see you later, guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.